Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gaming Lounge Podcast, episode 59. Once again, I'm your host, Sebastian, and as always, I'm joined by Dory. How are you doing, Dory?
Hello, everyone. I'm Dory, here with an important message. If your girl is really into hiding in the shadows, loves night vision goggles, and secretly works for the U.S. government, that's not your girl. That's Sam Fisher. Anyway, hello, everyone. I've been playing the original Splinter Cell, as you might be able to see. Holds up incredibly well. Really excited this week to talk about a bunch of stuff. It is the first week of camp, so if you're like, wow, Dory looks really tan for some reason, I was outside in 90 to 100 degree weather for the first few days of this week. So that was fun, but thankfully we got to go inside. But yeah, for this week, our big topic, of course, as you can note from the title, is all the games that we're really looking forward to for the rest of 2025. We're also going to talk about the Blood of Dawnwalker, which had some gameplay shown, and Capcom decided to have some sort of Spotlight showcase, plus some Little Nightmares news. So let's get into it.
All right, so let's start with the Blood of Dawnwalker, the gameplay breakdown. So we got like a 20-minute gameplay showcase of the game, and it looked like the Witcher. I mean, it has Witcher devs, so it makes sense, right? But that was giving me major Witcher vibes. But so in this game, there is a day and night transformation. Cohen, he shifts between a human in the daytime, and then he's a vampire at night. So you have different abilities depending on what time of day it is. It's also the daytime also favors investigation and conversations, and then nighttime is when you're stealthing and fighting and using your superhuman powers. So there's a strategic combat system in this game. You have like directional combat. You study the enemy's posture and direction to block, counter, or strike back. The combat it's very cinematic and tactical, and you have to be precise and make sure make sure what you do is deliberate, and make sure you basically have to target like a certain weak point. What would you compare the gameplay to, would you say?
I mean, I think you're right with The Witcher. When I was watching it, it definitely gave me some Witchery vibes. The big open fantasy field gave me some Oblivion vibes in the sense of like very wooded, lots of mountains. Obviously fantasy creatures. Of course, you've got generic like mercenaries as well. I don't know what you would call them, like thieves or whatever. Just people on the road that you can just kill. Yeah, I mean the gameplay looks all right. It's got that same wheel that Witcher Wild Hunt did, and so I recognize it from that. You've got like the looting system that seems pretty similar. The UI and the skill chart look pretty similar to most RPGs that I've seen. You've got a character screen, inventory screen, crafting journal, map, something called Brenchi's Court. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a lore thing. Mm-hmm. And then a glossary, which is what you would think the lore thing would be. But yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. I don't really think it looks much else except like some sort of weird combo between an open world, fantasy RPG like Oblivion mixed with Witcher, which, I mean, I guess Witcher is fantasy, right? So it just looks like Witcher.
Yeah, it's just Witcher if you were a vampire, and
right.
The day and night cycle affects the gameplay. They did show different environments. They showed like a swamp, and they showed mountain range, and they showed like a medieval towns. And of course, the atmosphere of the environment changes with the day and night. So the day and night is the main focus of this game. So he gets vampire abilities, of course. He gets like a shadow step, and he gets like claw attacks. And there is a hunger mechanic, which is central to the game. It replenishes your strength, and Cohen gets weaker and even more violent and uncontrolled if he doesn't get blood. So That's a big important. It makes sense. He's a vampire, right? So it makes sense for this game. So overall, it's a open world vampire game, and it looks really good. The gameplay doesn't blow me away, as Dory said. It's very Witcher
Right.
3, and I think Witcher 3 is the masterpiece, but the gameplay was not the greatest in that game either.
No, it wasn't.
But it was
I
still
played it for a few hours and the
yeah,
gameplay never really moved me. But yeah, go ahead.
but it was still fine. Like it wasn't like a
Yeah.
people make it like it was horrendous and it was like unplayable. Like no,
No.
it sold like it sold so much and was a huge critical success. So I think it won Game of the Year. So if this game is even half as good as Witcher 3, then this game's gonna be good. I think I'm pretty optimistic about this game. I think it looks good.
Yeah, I love the graphics. I think the writing and the voice acting both look good. The
Yeah.
graphics look incredible. Um, I would say, like you said, the gameplay doesn't really like wow me, and I'm pretty mixed about open world games, so seeing that in action didn't move me a ton. But I do think, like for example, like the moon and the red moon kind of visual looks really really cool during the gameplay overview. Yeah, I mean, definitely like I don't know, Vampire meets Witcher. Like you also have to balance your hunger, just like in Vampire, and there are some like alternatives, so you don't have to drink the blood of humans. You can also they were kind of coy about it, but you can eat animals instead. And
Yeah.
they said and other things, which didn't fill me with confidence that there are a lot of other options. But maybe you can feed on other vampires. I don't know. But it's got a similar mechanic where you can eat people. I don't know how far that'll go. Can you eat quest givers? Can you kill people who are central to the plot? I'm not going to be upset if you can't, but it depends on like
I,
how you do that, right? I know in Vampire, one of the coolest things about that game, I did not care for the combat at all, but I did love the fact that you could eat everybody, and you could just get the most horrifying ending possible. Like I've watched the endings online and heard of them and stuff like that, and you can get some pretty awful endings. So I don't know if it's going to go that deep or not.
well, if it's like The Witcher 3, the story should definitely change by your choices. Witcher 3 has tons of endings and different, side stories, and people got drastically different endings. So if it's anything like that, then this game should have a lot of choices.
Right.
And the main thing with this game is I think the cinematic and like feel of it and the visuals and the story is extremely appealing and awesome to look at. That like even if the gameplay is not the best, this game should be good. Like it just has it has a really nice AAA feeling, especially since this is their first game that they've ever worked on from Rebel Wolves. So this is their very first game, and it's published by Bandai Namco. So they typically do a good job publishing games outside the anime games. So I'm optimistic, of course, and we'll see.
Yep.
All right, you ready to move on?
Um, they talked about some of the quests and stuff and how it can change depending on, like you said, with your choices and stuff. So they show this scene later on when you're in a church and you can give certain interactions with a priest or friar, and then later on there's a boss fight. Again, the gameplay didn't look amazing. Kind of reminded me of some kind of combination of Witcher and Vampire, but it looked fine. And like you said, for a first game from a studio, I don't expect them all to be Expedition 33, right? So the animations just look kind of like there's dismemberment and stuff and blood, but it just kind of looks a little cheap. If I'm gonna be real, when enemies, I do love that enemies have kind of a ragdoll. They do kind of like a twist, like they're in a fucking luchador match. But yeah, I don't know. The animations for combat didn't really wow me either. But I'm hoping, this is all pre-beta in-game footage. So, they have plenty of time to iron this out. I'm not super worried about it. It looks good for the most part.
Cool. Let's move on to the next topic, which is Little Nightmares 3, which is also published by Bandai Namco. So Little Nightmare 3 got a showcase this week. It wasn't really a showcase, it was more like a trailer that gave us the actual release date. And they said the release date is October 10th of this year, which is a perfect release date for Little Nightmares 3. Now,
Outstanding.
the big difference, obviously, is that this game is created by Supermassive Games, which is the people that made the Dark Pictures games and Until Dawn. Normally, Tarsier has worked on Little Nightmare 1 and 2, but for some reason they working on Reanimal, and Little Nightmares 3 was given to Supermassive. So we'll see if they can live up to Tarsier, because the first two Little Nightmare games are great. But this seems like it's very close to the original game, so I'm pretty optimistic. In this game, it's a co-op multiplayer game, just like the second game was. And you play as two protagonists, Lo, who uses a bow, and Alone, who uses a wrench. And you can play this game solo with AI, or you can team up in online co-op. So cool thing about this game is it's like the Joseph Fares games, where you get a friend's pass. So you only need one copy of the game, and you can play with somebody else with you. So all you need is one copy, and you can play. The other person can play with you for free. So that's cool. It's launching on every platform, including the Switch 2. There's different editions. You got the standard, deluxe, mirror, and premium spiral editions. Of course, you get like expansions, costumes, collectibles, and physical goodies like statues and whatever. I already bought it, but I just bought the regular. I don't see the point of spending more money for costumes, so I got the regular. And if you pre-ordered it, you got the Little Nightmares Enhanced Edition. So you got the first game, but enhanced. And I'm at the end. I'm at the end of that game. Replaying it. It's a really short game, and the enhancements look really nice. Looks definitely. It's not like, oh my god, it's so much better looking, but it's definitely better. There's more 4K support. There's more improved like water and lighting effects. There's a smooth 60 frames per second. Even though I would already get that because I have a high-end PC. More checkpoints, better tutorials, and faster loading times, which I definitely noticed. And you get all the DLC as well, which is worth playing, which is really good. And yeah. Dory, what did you think of Little Nightmares 3? Did you watch it at all?
I did not watch this one. Sorry. I don't have a lot to say. I wouldn't have a lot to say about it anyway. But I do remember watching the earlier trailers, and I mean, it looks about similar as the others. I like that it has a friend's pass. Split Fiction did the same thing, and that allowed us to play it together, so that's fun. And I'm happy that Little Nightmares is continuing. Still think it's kind of weird that there's a spin-off and then there's a normal one, but the spin-off is done by the original devs, and Little Nightmares 3 is done by new devs, question mark? Yes, now created by So, kind of weird, kind of in a Rocksteady Batman Arkham situation where like the people who are making the continuation, like it was like a weird thing where Suicide Squad versus Gotham Knights, where you would think Gotham Knights was a continuation, but it was actually Suicide Squad the whole time.
Well, it's not even. But it's not even like part of the universe. It's like a whole different. It's a spiritual successor, like. Right. Because Bandai just wanted to keep the IP, so THQ Nordic owns Reanimal, so for whatever reason, there was like some disagreement or something that happened.
Right. But regardless, they both of these games look cool, and I know Seb's very excited to play it, so I am happy for him that he'll get his chance on October 10th.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. So I'm looking at Wikipedia, and it says that they were acquired. Tarsier Studios was acquired by the Embracer Group. So when they
of course
in 2019, so that's why they had to make a new IP.
I mean, if there's ever been like a official greatest name for a conglomerate, it was Embracer, because they love embracing other studios.
Now, would you play?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Would you play this with me, or would you if I would? Because I have.
I'd give it a shot. Sure. I mean, you've said enough positive things about it. I'd at least give it a shot. I don't have anything to lose by playing it. October's a really busy month for me, but I try to make time for it.
Well, they're short.
It looks great. I always love that. Yes, they're short. They've got great graphics. You know I love horror, and we both enjoyed playing Split Fiction together. So I don't see why we wouldn't enjoy this. But I definitely need you to lead the way, because I have not played any of these games before.
Well, I think you should try the first two games. And they're short, and they're not like Limbo or Inside, or they're not like puzzle solving. There's some puzzles in it, but they're not like puzzles per se. It's more like how to get by the environment. It's mostly a stealth runaway experience where like big monsters try to grab you in
This
platforming.
is crazy. They've got a premium collector edition, a special edition, a mirror edition, an expansion pass, a deluxe edition, a pre-order bonus.
Yeah, there's
What
a
the
lot.
fuck? There's so much shit. What group is doing this?
This is
Uh,
Bandai doing that.
this Bandai? Wow, I didn't know Bandai was so fucking like.
Yeah, they are.
Uh, yeah, I didn't know they were that bad. Jesus, that's a lot. I don't mind one or two things here or there for people who want to pay a little extra, but that's crazy. There's so many things. Like the
Yeah.
expansion pass, you get 2 additional chapters plus some costumes. Deluxe edition, you get the Residence costumes pack. This is this is wild. It's a two. So the reason why I'm going on and on about this is like it's like a 2.5 minute video, but like almost a whole minute of it is dedicated to like not even the game, just a bunch of extra shit you can get. Kind
Yeah.
of crazy. Remember everybody, we could have prevented this by not buying horse armor, but we chose one path. Anyway, so yeah, game looks great. I'll probably give it a shot with you, Seb. So
Yeah.
hope it's good.
I'm just curious how it's gonna pan out because Supermassive Games is very inconsistent. Like
Yeah.
they have a very mixed track record. Until Dawn is still their best game, and that was 9 years ago. The Dark Pictures games are very up and down. Like there's some quality ones, and then there's some bad ones. And the Quarry, people are very mixed on the Quarry. I think some people really like it, and some people don't like it at all. So I part of me thinks that this game is going to be the worst of the three, but from what I'm seeing, it looks pretty accurate to the first two. Like I said, Dory, I would definitely try out the first two
Yeah.
games because, like I said, they're quite short. They're like literally you can, if you know what you're doing, you can beat the first game in like 90 minutes.
Okay. Cool.
So I would say it's they're both 4 to 5 hours if on a blind playthrough. Not even depends how much you die. But the checkpoints are so forgiving that it's not really a big deal.
How long to beat says 3.5 hours for the first one and 5.5 hours for the second one. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
Cool.
indie games, but technically not because they're published by a major company. All right, let's move on to some Square Enix news about making possibly turn-based RPGs again. So this was a big conversation this week. Square Enix is so impressed by Clear Obscure Expedition 33's success. It sold a lot of copies, and they got critical praise. It's probably gonna win Game of the Year, I think, or at the very least, it's definitely gonna be nominated. That's a guarantee, I think.
Yes.
They're possibly shifting in strategy. So the executives acknowledge the games proves that there's a substantial appetite for realistic turn-based RPGs, especially ones reminiscent of classic Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest gameplay. Analysts suggest that Square Enix may regret moving away from command-based combat after investing heavily in action RPG formats. So if you look at their newest games and in their huge franchises, Final Fantasy 16 is very action focused. It played like Devil May Cry basically, and then Final Fantasy 7 remake is also action based, right, Dory? And then Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be action based. Kingdom Hearts is not a turn based series; it's an action focus. Pretty much all their major new franchises are like action focused. The new Dragon Quest was action focused, and a lot of their games have been action focused. They have not done. They're outside like some more obscure franchises, I guess, like Bravely Default, which they got like a Switch 2 version, which is turn based. I'm talking about like their most cinematic, visually stunning games are definitely action focused. So if they switch to turn based again with more of a 3D cinematic feel to it, like Clear Obscures, then that'd be a cool sign. It says the company will now openly emphasize turn-based RPGs as part of its heritage, and they're signaling that they intend to bring back that genre. And I think the internet conversation has been positive about that. I think that the gamers online would prefer that, because they're working on a Final Fantasy 9 remake, which is the very open secret. It got leaked, and then the video leak. We're just waiting for the trailer at any moment. and that should be turn-based. So if that game is a success, then I would think that would even further encourage them to go in this direction. So don't be surprised if Final Fantasy 17 is turn-based. That'd be a welcome addition to me for me. Like as much as I really like the action focus as well in 15 and 16, that and even 14 because it's an MMO. I think turn-based can be done really well. Like I think Clear Obscure's gameplay is mostly good. I think the parrying and the dodging can be tricky and it's a little too unforgiving. So if they clean that up a bit, I think turn-based can make a comeback in a AAA setting. Not like obviously there's a lot of turn-based games still. They're just more niche than what they used to be. So Dory, how do you feel about this news?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you had asked Dory from a couple of years ago, I'd be like, no, don't do that. I don't want to do that. I prefer my RPGs action packed and more in line with what I played when I was a kid. But over the past couple of years, as I've talked about before, I gave more turn-based games a shot, like the new Like a Dragon games, as well as going back and playing some classic RPGs and playing, of course, Clair Obscur. So I've just done a lot more testing and trying of turn-based RPGs than I was when I was younger, and found out that I enjoy them as well. I don't always like them, and I think I still prefer action-based, but I agree with you that I'd like to see a change coming from Square Enix. Now, I can't wait for this game to underperform, because if Square Enix loves saying one thing, it's that their games underperform. And then they'll go back to action and they'll flip-flop again and again. But I do think that Sandfall Interactive has shown that you can do this. You can make a well-designed turn-based game and have it sell like hotcakes, right? You can have it sell really, really well and do really well in the year 2025, right? It doesn't have to be action-based. Now, similar to Seb, I love action-based games. I'm excited for Kingdom Hearts 4. I loved Final Fantasy 16. I loved it more than I think some other people did. I do not mind the change to action-based, but I wish they would do more like RGG does, where some of their games are turn-based and some of them are not. Like, I appreciated the return to a brawler for Pirate Yakuza, while still having Infinite Wealth, which was my goatee, I'm pretty sure, last year, which was turn-based. And again, this year, it's a turn-based game. So I really changed my tune on this. Sea of Stars is another great turn-based game that I played a few years ago. There's still a lot. I haven't played a lot of the Final Fantasy games, and I haven't played Chrono Trigger, and there's a lot of turn-based games that I just didn't grow up with because Final Fantasy VII just completely kicked my ass, and I was like, oh, okay, well, they all must be like this, which, I mean, wasn't completely untrue. And, so I just didn't play a lot of turn-based games as a kid, either on my N64 or PS1 or anything. So I've got a lot of catching up to do, but I really appreciate the genre for taking a more calculated and, it's fun to have games where you don't have to constantly be moving. You can think, you can strategize. You've got everything laid out in front of you if it's 3D. Sometimes if it's top down and 2D, the same thing is still true. So I would love if Square would do this. I'm a little nervous about how it would work, but I think that they could do really well if they take their time with it and actually, I don't want to say copy Clair Obscur, but, model some of the stuff that they did and take it into their own RPGs. I think that would do well. But I mean, it's not like Final Fantasy 16. I'm sure, according to Square, it didn't do well. But I think by most metrics, Final Fantasy 16 sold pretty well. Critically, it did. It did. It wasn't like amazing, but I think it was solid. Most people liked it. Most fans were good with it. I know there's a whole discussion about whether it's Final Fantasy or not. I think that discussion's silly because Final Fantasy's always been very different from one game to another. But you'll always get discussions like that. Just ask the Kingdom Hearts fan base. So yeah, I'm excited. I hope they do it. I don't know if I have any grand idea that they actually will do this and stick with it, but I hope they do. I hope they at least try it.
Well, just to be clear to the audience, they have a lot of turn-based RPG series under them already. Like, they work on a lot of them. I mean, you got Octopath, you got
Octopath, right?
The Saga games, we got the Dragon Quest remasters, Fantasian, Voice of Cards, Tactics Ogre, Live Alive, or is it Live Alive? Like, they're all like major I'm not almost say major. They're all franchises that they have. It's just they're not big sellers as much as like Final Fantasy. I think they got to be realistic. If they jump into a AAA level RPG, they can't expect their action fans to like love the game right off the bat. Like they got to be realistic with their sales. Is what I'm saying. Like if the first transition game is not like the highest selling game, don't make it like it's a failure. Like obviously if you make a profit, then it worked, right? Like don't set like, oh, we have to sell 12 million copies or the whole game's a failure. They got to stop doing that. Where the game really wasn't a failure. Their expectations are ridiculous. But it's still a niche genre, I think. But there are games that have sold really well that people love. Like we got Baldur's Gate 3, Metaphor ReFantazio, and then Expedition 33. None of these games are Square Enix, and they've all been huge successes. So there's an audience now. I think the genre is getting bigger than it ever was, and it's just a matter of making a AAA game on that level. Because like I said, they have tons of 2D and more obscure franchises and smaller like RPGs, but nothing on this grand scale of Final Fantasy 16 or Final Fantasy 7 remake. And hopefully Final Fantasy 9 remake is a beginning of that. And even then, I don't think it's going to be as detailed as Final Fantasy 7 remake. I think their budget's all going to like Kingdom Hearts 4, Final Fantasy 7 remake Part 3, and then Final Fantasy 17, of course. So it's gonna be tricky because you are gonna isolate your action audience that loves Final Fantasy 7 remake and Final Fantasy 16. Are they gonna turn off from a turn-based system? Who knows? But I think they should take the gamble, see what happens, because there is an audience there now. Maybe like 10 years ago, then yeah, it was a very niche genre. Only a small amount of people played it. So I'm definitely interested. I'm a huge turn-based fan and RPG fan, so I'm all on board with this idea. I think Final Fantasy 17 being turn-based would be amazing. We really haven't had a turn-based Final Fantasy game since Final Fantasy 13, and I think people don't like that game, not because it was turn-based, but because it was super linear. Like all you did was walk straight. I think if we got a game like Final Fantasy X again, I think people would be really happy. It's been a long
Square
time. Go on.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. So I was just gonna say, when we were talking about the games, I mostly had Final Fantasy in mind. I kind of forgot that Square. Sometimes I'll see Square Enix's logo on something, and I'll be like, they designed this. Like I played, or not designed this, but published this. Like they published like this visual novel mystery called Paranormal. The Seven Mysteries of Honjo or something, and it was like published by Square, and it's a total weird Japanese indie visual novel mystery game, right? But they also did Triangle Strategy, and like you said, Octopath, with both of which are turn-based. Yep. So it's not like they don't do any turn-based games. I mostly mean like turn-based with like their big series that they don't do as much.
Yeah, anymore. AAA. I mean, they don't do any AAA ones. That's what I'm saying.
They don't do any AAA ones, but they'll take swings with smaller ones. And it's weird because Octopath sold really well, or got a lot of acclaim, if I remember correctly. I don't think Triangle Strategy did as well, but Octopath did well enough to get a sequel. Yeah. So it is confusing why they won't at least give Final Fantasy a shot. But for sure, they do other games that are turn-based. They just won't do it with their big series.
It's like there's no AAA. Like Final Fantasy 16 had like, a huge budget, strong voice acting, giant cinematic moments. Like it was a pure AAA game. And Final Fantasy 7 remake as well, right? Rebirth was huge. It's a giant game. That's what I mean. I don't mean like obviously they have tons of 2D RPGs. So anyone that says they don't have any turn-based games is wrong. Like it's just wrong. Like there's tons of them. Even like Triangle, like they have even different like types of genres. Like Triangle Strategy is turn based, but it's like strategy based more. So they own Chrono Trigger. Like there's so much. They have so many IPs under their belt that they easily could make something out of it if they really pushed it. So they even did Super Mario RPG, I Am Setsuna. Like there's so many games. So
yeah.
All right, let's move on to Capcom now. They had a Spotlight showcase this week. Just a sum it up, it was a waste of time. Like
It was.
it was really bad. But they've always.
This
I
could
love
have been an
Capcom.
email.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know why. I don't know why I expected anything of this.
I love Capcom. I think they're one of the best developers in the world, but they're always horrible at shows. Like their shows are always horrendous. They're just like marketing like commercials basically. Because they'll like in the showcase they showed games that already been out for a year or whatever. And it's like, oh, buy this now. Oh, by the way, there's a summer sale. It's Steam, but make sure you buy our games. That kind of thing. It's kind of a waste of time. But they did show a couple things that were new or relatively new. We got to see Pragmata, which again is that sci-fi IP in like a dystopian lunar research station. You play as Hugh, who's an astronaut, and he works with a little girl named Diana, and she's an android. And they showed like hacking puzzles, and they showed like it says you must breach enemy armor through strategic node-based minigames to expose their weak spots. There's environmental traversal features. Excuse me. It says environmental traversal features low gravity segments, adding platforming variety, and of course they just confirmed that it's coming out on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC in next year. Was there anything about Pragmata that you want to talk about, or?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm very excited for this game.
Yeah.
But mostly what I'm excited for is since, I work with kids, as well as Seb does. I love Diana so much. She's just a little bundle of joy, and I just want to give her like a nice pat on the back or a side Christian hug or like whatever's appropriate in this situation.
Yeah.
She's just so precious, and I love her. She just, I don't know. She's so cute. She's so cute. And like every time they put like the boring ass astronaut on the screen, I'd be like, get out of here, go away. I want to see Diana. Diana's like their hair physics that they got for her is great. She's got really cool powers. Her voice actress is like adorable. So I don't know. I'm excited for Pragmata, but honestly, it's mostly just because the kid's so stinking adorable. But I did like the hacking puzzles and mini games and gameplay looked interesting. I don't know how that's going to play out for me personally, because hacking mini games are really cool in theory, because hacking is cool in theory, but in practice, some video games, just like lockpicking, make it a real chore. So I'm very interested to see how Pragmata implements that kind of gameplay, because that can be really tricky.
Yeah, the main thing to me is the visuals are incredible. The RE engine always shines. I think the world of it looks awesome. I love the space setting. It looks really clean, and so I was kind of getting Kojima vibes a lot from this game. I still do. Like it just has like I don't know, but something about it has a Metal Gear vibe to it.
I think it's the engine. Honestly, I think it's the engine. The engine Japanese. Reminds me. Well, yeah, maybe, but the Capcom engine here looks kind of Kojima-ish, like looks like the Kojima engine.
Decima engine, yeah, it does.
Yeah, Decimal engine. So, which isn't a bad thing. Both are great engines. So I have no problem with it, but it's a little weird.
Which is the Guerrilla Games' engine. That's the people that make Horizon. So,
right.
I think the aesthetic too though looks very Kojima. It just has a Metal Gear look to it. I also think Japan typically does realistic graphics a certain way. Like you can tell it's Japanese compared to a Western realism. Like if you compare this game to like The Last of Us, you can tell what's Western and which one's Japanese, I think. Or the same thing with like Resident Evil, Devil May Cry. You could just look at the characters' faces and tell it's Japanese, which is not a bad thing at all. I think it's great. Visuals look great, and the gameplay looks a lot of fun. I just need to see more, I guess. The story should be good, and I'm pretty optimistic. It's Capcom's like new IP, so I've had my eye on this game for at least 4 or 5 years now. I want to say they revealed this in 2020 at the PS5 like launch showcase, and we've gotten nothing until this year. So it looks good.
I love the comments on the IGN video. Somebody said, "I shall call it Dad Space." And then somebody said, Capcom, yo, we heard you like games, so we put a game in the game so you can game while you game. Sounds good to me. But yeah, it looks like just the hacking mini game, so to speak, just looks like you're matching two blue patterns together. I'm sure it'll get more difficult as the game goes on. Yeah. You'll get like little obstacles, and then Hugh will shoot the weak points and stuff for massive damage, by the way. And it looks fun. I need a demo or something to see how this actually plays, because that It feels like it could be very chaotic and frustrating, but it could also be very seamless and fun. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I love the graphics. Love Diana. And like you said, it's Capcom's new IP, so I'm sure they're putting a lot of effort into the writing and the story. So that should be good as well.
Yeah, so I'm assuming you don't want to talk about Street Fighter, so I think we can skip that.
No.
Yeah, they were just new their DLC character, and that they're doing,
Didn't have Kenny Omega, so I don't care. End of story.
And they're doing the Capcom and the Capcom Pro Tour, which is coming to the US. All right, then they showed Kunitsigami. Just a reminder, it's coming to Switch too, and then it's out. Make sure you buy it. It's the 1-year anniversary. I thought about getting this game, and then I look at Steam, and it wasn't on sale, which is very odd because I think Capcom's having a sale right now because of the Steam summer sale, but this game is full price still. I still haven't pulled the trigger just because I don't like these kind of games generally, and I just so many games to play right now that I don't know where to fit it. So that's the only reason why I haven't played it yet. But I will eventually. So anything you have anything to say about that game, or do you want to move on to?
No, I do want to mention that Pragmata is getting a demo at Gamescom in August. So we will hear more about how the hacking and shooting works. But no, I don't have anything to say about Kumitsugami. It was a very cool blending of styles, but unfortunately it didn't really appeal to me.
Yeah.
But it got great reviews. It was one of the surprise hits of last year. So good for that game.
Yeah, and then they just give us reminders. Onimusha Remastered came out in May. Check it out. And then Onimusha, the new one's coming out next year. And apparently there's like new gameplay and story elements that they're going to reveal later on in the future. And then Monster Hunter on sale. They showed the Capcom digital sale right here. And they got every game on sale except for Kunitsugami for some reason. And then they show Resident Evil Requiem. Now, this could have been just a tweet. They really didn't show a ton of new stuff. They did show gameplay for the first time publicly. They revealed this to YouTubers. We talked about that already. We got to see Grace like in first person. We saw her hand walking through a hallway with a lighter, and she's being chased by the giant hag. And that's pretty much it. They did show like her looking at it through a toolbox and stealthing around the hag, and they showed the switch to third person. Now the third person view definitely looks like a different option than the first person. It doesn't feel tacked on. It doesn't feel like Fallout or like Avowed or Elder Scrolls or something where like the third person view is tacked on and it's clunky, and this game was clearly made for first person. I think this game was clearly made for either style, so I think that's really cool, and I appreciate that because I strongly prefer third person. And that was pretty much it. Like they talked about like Raccoon City, going back to Raccoon City and all that, but it was basically just like, hey, there's Resident Evil. We were interested in going back in 30 years, and we picked Grace as the main character because we think someone like Leon wouldn't be scared in this kind of situation because he's been through a million things already, and that was pretty much it. This could have been a tweet. What'd you think of the Resident Evil 9 reveal or gameplay shown?
Yeah, like you said, there wasn't much here. I did get very excited for a split second, but afterwards I was like, oh, okay, this isn't like going to be much. But I love that they mentioned Leon explicitly. To me, that means that Leon is going to be in the game, but it's probably going to be a Chris role where Chris shows up later in Resident Evil 8.
Yeah.
And God, that game still annoys me by Chris not explaining shit to Ethan at the beginning. He's just it's like, bro, you could have just passed him a note or said so. Anyway, whatever. It was years ago. I'm over it. It's fine. But it was so stupid. Anyway, it's probably going to be like that. Leon's probably going to come in and he's going to like fucking steal her hat, and he's going to be like, I'm not going to explain this. And then like 10 hours later, it'll be like, yeah, the hat actually had a bomb on it. So you're welcome. But anyway, he'll do like that thing where you flip off somebody's hat.
Even in like in Village, right? Like it's a horror game for most of it. And then like the last section with Chris turns to full on first person shooter Call of Duty section.
Yeah.
And that's probably
which I had a lot of fun with. But yeah, it
that's
was a
probably
total genre.
that's probably what's gonna happen with Leon. Like the Leon section,
Yes.
he's gonna start dropping one-liners, doing drop kicks, and
I'm
run up the wall. 50 years old, he's gonna be running up the wall. He's superhuman. Like I've seen Leon get thrown across the room with his back hitting like a metal wall like 50 miles an hour and getting up like it's nothing and fighting zombies like John Wick. Like they better go if Leon's in this game. They better contrast Grace's section where she's scared and running away with like Leon being John Wick with the monster.
I think it's going to be awesome. It's going to be old man Leon. Leon's probably around 48 years old at this point, so he's probably gonna have that
Kratos beard, and he's bald. He has the Kratos beard.
Go back to the mid 2000s. He's bald. He's grizzled. He's got an AK-47.
Triple H. Like
yeah, that's right. He's just completely Triple H from the early 2010s, mid 2010s.
That'd be awesome.
I'm really excited for this. One thing that somebody said, I forget where I read this, but I don't know if you saw it as well, but they were considering making RE9 more online focused and an open world. But
I saw the gameplay.
Yeah. So I'm really glad they didn't go in that direction because I like my Resident Evil more linear and not online. And so they stuck with what works, but that's a little scary that they even considered it to me. I mean, open world wouldn't have been the end of the world. I think Raccoon City in an open world setting could have actually been really cool. But the online stuff, I don't know. That just gives me the fear.
Yeah, I only want Raccoon City to be an open world game if it's in 1998 and it's like the original Raccoon City. I don't want to explore a destroyed Raccoon City. I want to I want to explore like what the city looked like an Outbreak, but like in a remake setting, in an open world setting. That'd be amazing. I think with the leaks and the people were talking about the games that they were playtesting, I think Leon and Jill were just like placeholders. So I think that's what Capcom did. And that's the reason why people said Jill and Leon were the protagonists in the game. I think a lot of stuff was just placeholders. The gameplay, I'm happy that they got away from that and switched back to 7 and Village more with the with the horror more. I think it's been really successful and it looks better and it's more cleaner. And I prefer. I don't want like a super linear game, but it's got to be a little linear. I don't want like just full on like here's a giant map and you're in Tears of the Kingdom and go figure something out. I don't want that. I don't want Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil either. I like a balance of the two. It would be really cool. I still think there might be open sections like in the city. If Raccoon City is a really major focus of the game,
right?
But I still got a feeling that it's a setting in the game and not the main setting of the game. I don't see this game like the whole game being in Raccoon City. I just don't get that vibe. And I still think Leon is going to be in this game. I don't think they just randomly drop Leon's name like that. Like no. They could have said Chris. They could have said Claire. They could have said Jill. Like they literally said Leon, and that was it.
I definitely think because they're saying this is such an important part of the Resident Evil canon, and it's such a big moment for the series that they're going to have at least cameos from maybe Jill or Chris or just people who are there in Raccoon City. That's what I think is going to happen, and then I think Leon's going to be full on playable. That's what I think.
If that's the case, they should cameo or at least do something with Claire and Sherry and Leon, right? Sherry, because Sherry's perfect age to be a main character still. Like she was in Resident Evil 6 and she's like she should be in her 30s now. So yeah, they're opening the door to brand new characters. Obviously, all our main favorite characters are getting up in age now. They're all in their 40s and 50s at this point because Resident Evil follows the same timeline as our real world time. So even then, I think this game's like in the future. I think it's usually like 2030 or something, or maybe it's not, something like that. Anyway, I think Shadow of Rose was like way in the future. Like Chris is like an old man, and he raised Rose, so I don't know how that connects, and we'll see, right? But yeah, that was it. In fact, this conversation was longer than what they showed.
That's right.
All right, and then assuming you don't want to talk about Monster Hunter, cool gameplay. Obviously, we're gonna get tons of DLC for it. It's a monster game, literally, and it's a huge seller. It's their biggest franchise. Of course, they're gonna talk about it the most. And Resident Evil 9, we'll get plenty. Gamescom is in August. It's practically July now, so Gamescom is like next month. So and I fully expect to see Resident Evil at Tokyo Game Show too. Like that's a safe bet. So we'll get plenty about Resident Evil 9. It's right around the corner, really. It's only in February, right? So, all right, moving on to our last topic of the night, which is the games coming out in the second half of the year. Now, for the sake of time, we're not going to go into full detail with every game because it would be a 2-hour conversation because there's so many games to mention. So it's gonna be it's just gonna be a brief conversation about the game. Like let's aim for like 2 minutes a game, or not even. Some indie games are going to be like 30 seconds, just because there's only so much to say. But if it's like a bigger game that we both have in common, well, let's say 2 minutes for each game. I organized it by month. Now, what I've noticed looking at lists is that there's practically nothing planned for November and December that interests me. Like there's not even that many games scheduled for those yet. Anyway, we won't know those until like Gamescom and stuff. So there's a lot of games that have no release dates that still say 2025. So we're gonna start with the games that actually have release dates and they're set in stone for now, or they're likely coming out those days. I don't see these games being delayed at this point. So let's start with July, which starts with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, which comes out July 11th. Now, Dory and I have both talked about this game a lot, I think, at this point. It's been a couple in our topics a couple of times. We're both excited for it. It's coming to Game Pass. I'll get it on Steam. Dory's going to get it on Game Pass. We're both excited for it. Dory, you put a lot of time into the first game, the first remake, as did I. I didn't play it on PC, but I played it on PS4 when it came out. And how excited are you for it, and why?
I'm very excited for this. I don't remember which Tony Hawk game I grew up with, but I grew up with the series for sure. It's one of my exceptions to the whole I'm not into sports games rule. Yeah. I have a real soft spot for skater culture because it's very anti-authority. And I have a soft spot for, the Tony Hawk games in general. The soundtracks were always sick. They got people into a lot of cool bands like Rage Against the Machine. And so I'm really excited to revisit that soundtrack. I know it's not going to be the same, but they've added some new faces, so I'm excited for that. I'm really excited to just check out these maps. I'm not huge on the 2-minute timer, but I think that it's not as big of a deal as some of the people who are upset about it. It doesn't super bother me, but I understand the dislike towards it. But yeah, I'm just excited to play it, get good all over again, and get a lot of the gold medals. I think I spent a lot of time, and I don't usually do this, getting gold on 1 and 2. And I think I got gold on almost every single level, which I was very proud of. It took me a while. Kim and I did it together. I did most of it, though. But Kim and I had a blast. I think we played multiplayer once, and that was okay. It was fun. And I think I played it online once or twice, too, but I got absolutely beat. And so, yeah, I'm excited to do it all over again. Excited for the soundtrack. The visuals look great. So, yeah, it'll be a good time. Yeah, perfect summer game.
Yeah, this is a perfect summer game, and I think it's day one for me because, like Dory, because she's only like a year older than me. I'm a 90s, 2000s kid. I grew up with all the Tony Hawk games. I played all of them as a kid. Love the soundtrack. Love the gameplay. Very nostalgic. PS1, PS2 especially. And I'm really excited. There's some of the news that we talked about were a little disappointing, but for the most part, it looks great. And the remake of the first one was awesome. So I am really excited to play this on July 11th. All right. The next game was Donkey Kong Bonanza, which comes out July 17th. Now, we don't have to go deep dive into this one because we talked about it for like 20 minutes last week. Right. But obviously, it looks great. It's a 3D platformer. It's the Mario Odyssey devs. It looks like a quality game. I fully expect it to be a highly reviewed game. It wouldn't shock me if it's in the 90s, honestly, or definitely at least in the late 80s. And it just looks like a blast. It looks colorful. It looks really fun. You can destroy the environments. You can play the demos in Target and other stores. I think they have like a showcase you can play, like a little gameplay demo in the stores. And everybody's saying it's really fun, and it's a blast just to destroy everything. So Dory has it on her list as well. She doesn't have a Switch 2, but it's one of those games when she does get one, or if she does, that's one of the games she's definitely going to play. So why does it appeal to you?
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like the Donkey Kong game that I would really love to play. It's a meshing of The Incredible Hulk, Ultimate Destruction, plus Mario Odyssey, and those are both great games.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to play it at some point. Like I said in the other in the other episode, I think that I'll probably go out of my way to watch some gameplay or maybe even a playthrough,
Yeah.
but just so I can get a sense of like how it is and how it feels.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Switch 2 is not in my anywhere in my near future. I'm waiting for more Switch 2 exclusives
Yeah.
and just to have more money and the whole thing. So, but it looks great and I'm excited to play it somewhere down the line.
Yeah, and just to be clear, as we go through these games, that just because it's on my list doesn't mean I'm definitely getting it day one, or if I'm even getting it this year. Like it's something on my wish list, and like I'll get it on sale or something. So just be mindful. I'm not about to spend $5,000 on like 50 games. Just to be clear, like these are the games that I'll definitely get half of these games at least day one, but it depends on the game. Some of these games are not even full price; they're indie games. All right, so the next game is Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. I'll let you talk about that because it's on your list as well. What interests you about it?
So this is a weird one for me. It's a Souls-like, and usually I'm not into Souls-like, but I find the aesthetic of it and the concept of it so striking that I want to give it a shot. It's also going to be on Game Pass,
Yeah.
which is really what motivates me to give it a shot. Otherwise, I don't know if I would. But one of the really cool features of this game is if there's this weird disease that I forget what it's called, the feathering, I think. But basically, eventually, if you keep dying over and over again, you start becoming part bird or whatever, like bird demon or something.
Yeah.
And you have to like fight. Like when you die, you go to the space where you have to fight the demon part of you so that you can come back to life. I don't know. It's an interesting concept. I can see myself getting frustrated with this game and giving up, but maybe it'll be well balanced and I'll really enjoy it, like Black Myth was for the most part. So we'll see. I've liked what I've seen, and the previews from IGN were strong too.
Yeah, it's on my list as well. It's a Souls game. It looks different than Wukong. Wukong was more action focused. This looks more Souls focused. It seems like you have to parry a lot. It was giving me like Sekiro vibes. So I feel like this game's gonna be challenging, way more than Wukong, but we'll see. But that doesn't turn me off because I love these games and I play all the hardest ones like Sekiro and Lies of P and things like that. So, this is one of those games where it's on my list. Very interested. Probably won't get it day one, but down the road, when I have time, I will definitely play this. I'm really curious how this game's going to review. I think it's going to be in the 80s, if I had to guess, like low 80s. So these Souls games tend to be in the low 80s unless it's like From Software or something. Or Lies of P is in the low 80s, I think. All right. Okay, the next two games are mine. I picked Grounded 2, which comes out July 29th. Now, this is the early access, and if it's anything like Grounded 1 early access, it's not going to appeal to me until they actually add like more content. And I think it's going to be different this time because if you remember in the Xbox showcase, Grounded 2 they said there's going to be more story focused and have a campaign and things like that. So that's more appealing to me because when I played Grounded 1 when it first came out on Game Pass, I got really bored because it was like barely a story and it was just surviving and collecting resources and it just didn't appeal to me. It's still like that, but there's a story now. I am going to play through Grounded 1 next month before the 2 comes out, but even then I think I'm going to wait. But it's definitely on my wish list, and when they add to it, I'm definitely going to get it. So, and the last game was Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which also comes out the same day as Grounded 2. This one, let me pull it up, is a 2D Metroidvania game, retro platformer. It looks challenging, but the aesthetic looks so awesome that I definitely want to keep. I'm gonna definitely keep my eye on it. It looks like a perfect Steam Deck game, like handheld game. So it's from the. So it's a revival of the original like arcade NES series. So it just stood out to me. So I don't think I'm gonna get day one, but it's something I have on my list for later on. So, all right, let's move on to August now. So we have Wonder Stars, which comes out August 1st. Before we even get into that, August is stacked this year.
Yes.
So Dory, you have it on your list as well. So can you tell us about Wonder Stars? Why is it on
Yeah,
your
Wonder
list?
Stars is like if Seb and I both had a really cool idea for a game and it actually got funding
Yeah,
and designed a game. It's basically a turn-based RPG based on 90s anime, 80s and 90s anime, especially Dragon Ball.
yeah,
And it's a kind of a throwback to the 90s games where you have to, you're going after this magical mystical item and you are supposed to get it before the bad guys do, I presume.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited for it. I liked the demo a lot. I played it for about 30 minutes. It's one of the few indies on this list that I knew I wanted on here. Some of the indies, like, there's a couple other indies that I played that are like on my wish list that
Yeah,
are from 2025, like Benny Bash and Artist Impact and stuff like that,
yeah.
and Morbid Metal. But I know less about those, or I wasn't as taken with the demos. But this one really struck me. I was really into it. Not saying it's incredible, but I'm probably there day one for it.
Yeah, I didn't play the demo, but from what I'm seeing, it looks really good. And the aesthetic alone, it reminds me of, like, as Dory said, my childhood. Toonami, Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball especially,
Yep.
so on and so forth. So I think it looks really cool. And even if I don't get it day one, definitely at some point. So and the good thing is an indie game, so I can't imagine it's going to be super expensive.
Yeah.
Does it even have a price yet on Steam?
It
Not
don't
yet.
think it does.
Not yet. No.
Nope.
Anyway, but yeah, it definitely looks cool. It's definitely a childhood, like a nostalgia game for both of us. All right, Mafia: The Old Country, which comes out August 8th. Now, we've talked about this game a lot in this podcast. It's the fourth game in the series. It's a prequel. Takes place in the early 1900s, like literally like 1900 in Sicily, which is my family's from, on my dad's side, and it looks great. I mean, it looks very cinematic. This gameplay looks a lot better, which is great because the gameplay in the Mafia games are not amazing at all. They're the worst parts of the game. But like every Mafia game, the quality of the writing and the storytelling and the voice acting is so high quality. I fully expected this game to be the exact same way. So even if the gameplay is not great, I'll probably really enjoy this game just based on the everything else. Same for you, Dory?
Yeah, I'm Italianing at you. But yes, I am very excited. I played Mafia
Grazie.
1, and what's that?
I said grazie.
Grazie. I played Mafia 1. I enjoyed it. The driving sucked, and the gameplay was just okay. The gunplay, I should say. But
Yeah.
the story and the writing, mwah, characters, so good. So I'm very excited about this. I think the gameplay definitely looks better. I still plan on playing Mafia 2 before this comes out, but I don't think I'll go to Mafia 3 because of how long that playtime is. I just can't see myself lasting 40 to 50 hours with a Mafia game. That doesn't sound like a good time.
Which
the reason
one?
I liked Mafia as much as I did, Mafia 3, at least the how long to beat says it's like 40, 50 hours. I'm like, there's no way I spend that long in a Mafia game.
At the very least, you should definitely beat Mafia 2 because it's a direct sequel to the first one. Like it like literally starts right where the first game ends.
Yeah.
On a
I
cliffhanger.
plan on playing Mafia 2 Definitive Edition, but I think I'll leave 3 alone. And I'll definitely play Old Country when it comes out. I forget, does that come to Game Pass or no?
No, I don't think so, no.
Okay. But either way, I'm there. Seb's there. I'm excited to play it. I'm excited to pretend I'm Sicilian for a second. Sicilian for a second. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Gameplay doesn't look amazing, but it should be fine. It should do its job. And I'm just looking forward to that writing and the story and the characters and the voice work.
Reminds me of Inglourious Bastards when Brad Pitt's speaking Italian. He's like, buongiorno. Like, he's like a very like American accent. That's how I sound when I took Italian in college. All right, because I'm very southern, I guess. Moving on to my game. Oh, so you have Sword of the Sea as your game on your
yes,
list
I forgot to highlight it, but yes.
No, okay, cool. So Sword of the Sea is the next game from Giant Squid, which I really love. I love all their games.
And I just want to point out, Seb's a fake fan. He forgot to put this in the August releases. I put it there, so fake fan of Giant Squid over here, right there.
Did I forget to put it?
Get him, boys.
I did this list like a week and a half ago. All right, yeah. So, it really excites me. It they did Abzu, which I love, the Pathless, which was really good for me, and Journey, obviously, which is a classic PlayStation game. And this game looks just like those games. It's colorful. It's all about the environment and adventure, like adventuring a really colorful environment. Dolphins everywhere, things swimming around, platforming, grinding on like giant rails. It's really fast paced. The traveling, it's the definition of a giant Squid Game. This is the giant Squid Game. But it looks like the most high budget one. I think it looks like more of a AAA indie game. Even though the visual style is not like hyper realistic or anything, you can definitely tell they upped the ante on the environments. Like there's a lot more going on in the world, like the background and stuff. What about it that interests you?
Yeah, I mean, I liked Journey. I'm not one of the people who loved it, but I liked it. I thought it was good, and I understand why people love it so much. But for me, it didn't hit. But in the same way, but I mean, I'm not taking anything away from that game. It was fun for what it was and beautiful, and the soundtrack amazing. Abzu was fun. I think I had more fun with Abzu than I did with Journey. And then I tried the Pathless very recently, and I couldn't jive with it at all. Very you just got to figure out by yourself where to go. And I found the movement kind of frustrating. It was fun when you could get it going, but as soon as you start slowing down, you move to like a snail's pace. To me, it was a very stop-start kind of movement system, and I didn't personally gel with it.
I also think it was a PS5 launch game, and it definitely felt like it because it had a big focus on DualSense features, like the vibration of the controller when you're aiming at the diamonds to go fast. That was like the main focus of the game. So I felt like a tech demo in a way for the controller, even though there was more to it than that. I just think if that's what it felt like as well. All right,
yeah, that's fair. But either way, this game looks great, and I'm hoping as long as it's more linear, like Abzu and Journey was, which this game looks more linear, but I don't know. It's just a trailer, so it's hard to tell. I'm interested.
Yes, for sure. All right, moving on to Dying Light: The Beast. Now, this is my game. It's from Techland, of course. This was going to be like a DLC, but then it turned out to be. This is basically Dying Light 3. And it looks fantastic. It looks like a Dying Light game. These are very cinematic, story-focused games, but you also have zombies that chase after you and a lot of parkour. It's a parkour game, and looks like they upped the ante with like how the zombies look. There's like even bigger monsters now. You can even drive vehicles now. The world looks a little bigger. It just looks like a blast to play. I heard it's not even that long of a game. It's like 20-something hours. It's not like a 100-hour game or anything. Maybe it's gonna be bigger. I don't know, but I heard it was like still a relatively shorter game for this kind of game. I mean, it looks like a blast to play. Like if you ever play the Dying Light games, they're so much fun to play. Like that's the main appeal. The gameplay is so fun. Being chased by the zombies at night is so cool. The parkour is awesome. It's really fun. It's like Mirror's Edge, but you're getting chased by zombies. Do you ever play the Dying Light games?
No, I never played any of them. That's why it's not on my list.
Yeah, you should definitely try it out. I have both of them on Steam. They're not super long either. They're always like 20-hour games, and it still holds up. The first game, especially, and the second game definitely holds up. I think. And it had multiplayer in it. I never did the multiplayer, but I know Mitch did, and he had a good time with it. So it's fun. You can like drop kick zombies, and so it's like Assassin's Creed, but like it's first person, and you're getting chased by zombies that can also parkour. All right, so that comes out August 22nd. The next game is Gears of War Reloaded, which is both on our list. It comes out August 26th. Of course, it's coming to Game Pass. It's first party. But it's also coming to PlayStation 5, which is the big news because seeing Gears of War on a PlayStation console is insane. It's really strange for me considering, I grew up with Gears of War on the 360 and it was a huge exclusive for them. It's going to be weird seeing Halo on PlayStation 5 as well. Anyway, this looks like I heard from the beta that, if you pre-order this game, I think you were able to get early access to the beta for the multiplayer, and they said it still plays really fun, but it's definitely shows its age in the gameplay. It's an old game. It's from 2006. But I can't imagine this is gonna be a monster remake compared to the remaster of this game we got in like 2015, which already looked great. So I'm not expecting like full on Resident Evil 4 to Resident Evil 4 remake quality of like remake, but I still expect it to be high frame rate and cool graphics and fun gameplay. I'm not really interested in the multiplayer. I'm just gonna do the campaign, and that's probably it. Dory, what about you?
Yeah, I'm excited to play this with Kim and get really frustrated that both of us suck at it, and that'll be fun. I haven't played Gears of War 1 since Gears of War 1, since it came out, right? I never went back and played it again. I don't even remember if I beat it. I think I beat it, but I couldn't tell you for sure. But I'm excited to play it with Kim, and looking forward to playing this over again. I'm sure it's not going to age well, like you said, but I think I'll have fun with it either way.
I think the gameplay. I played the remaster because they did a remaster in 2015, like the like an enhanced version of it, and it looked really great. It's on Game Pass on PC as well, but the gameplay still holds up. It's just this style of gameplay has been done a lot since then. That there's games that have done it better, of course, but I think the gameplay actually holds up really well. If you played Gears 4 and 5, then you're familiar with it, right? So if you feel like those games play pretty well, then this game plays well.
I felt like they're pretty good.
I think it's only a problem when there's too many of them. Like when the Gears of War was like really popular and there was a game like almost every year, and it got repetitive because it was the same gameplay over and over again. But as I always said, if we only get a Gears War game and it plays like this every 4 or 5 years, then I'm not complaining. Like I can enjoy that. So. All right, next game, which is Kirby in the Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed World, which comes out August 28th. Now, this is not a new game. This is just the 3D open world Kirby game that came out on the Switch 1. It's the Switch 2 version, the enhanced version, with the extra DLC content. A whole new DLC, like a brand new world and stuff like that. It's only like $20 to upgrade, I think. So I'm gonna get it, of course. This was a great game. It was one of the best games of the year when it came out. It's one of the best Kirby games in my opinion. Very short, but really cool. So this is day one for me. I was disappointed that this game did not come out on launch day. Like I feel like I actually thought it was gonna be a launch game for like a few months, and then I realized it's not. So that's so that comes out August 28th. Another game that comes out August 28th is Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Obviously, I mean, Dory and I have talked about this game 100,000 times. I mean, we're both day one.
Yep.
Do we need to say anything?
Yeah, I mean, Metal Gear Solid 3 is probably my favorite of the series, which I know, super hot take, right? But I'm excited to play it again. It's been a while since I played it. I don't remember exactly when I played it last, but I'm excited to play it again.
Yeah, I played it on the PS3 collection that they gave us. That was the last time I played it. That had to be like early 2010s, 2011, something like that. But it's my favorite Metal Gear Solid game. I first played it in 2004, so I was 11 years old and I was in middle school. It's the best. The storyline is a masterpiece. One of the best endings of all time. It's classic. It's peak Metal Gear Solid in my opinion. So I think it's a fitting game to start off a remake with. And if it's a huge success, then I hope they do 2 and 4, and at the very least, give me Metal Gear Solid 4 as a collection or something. It's still sitting on a PS3 collecting dust. That's the only way to play it. All right. Shinobi Art of Vengeance, which also comes out August 28th. Again, retro platformer, Metroidvania. Well, I don't know if it's Metroidvania. I think it's just a retro platformer. It looks great. Love the colors. The gameplay looks fun. I've talked about this before as well. It's from the people that made Streets of Rage 4. It's this classic series. I think it's from Sega, I want to say. And yeah. Again, not a game I'm getting day one, but it's on my list in the future. All right, the last game of August 29th, is Lost Soul Aside, which comes out August 29th. So, this game's been delayed. We've been waiting for this game since before Final Fantasy 15. So it's been like over a decade we've been waiting for this game. It's finally coming out. It's supposed to come out already in the end of May, and they delayed it to August.
They had 17 minutes of gameplay shown 4 years ago.
Yeah.
4 years ago from IGN. So.
Yeah. But it looks like a blast. I mean, if Capcom's not going to give us Devil May Cry, then someone else give me Devil May Cry. That's what this game basically is to me. And I'll take it. It looks like a blast to play. The gameplay looks incredible. The character models are not the greatest, I guess. It definitely, you can definitely tell it's a little more AA than AAA, but everything about it just looks like a badass fun time. Like it's just very Asian over the top craziness. Final Fantasy 16 level like cinematic like boss battles, just craziness. Devil May Cry is this is the main thing I'm getting out of it. Maybe Final Fantasy 15 like. I don't know, but either way, it looks like a blast to play. Gameplay looks incredible. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, what in the Final Fantasy is going on? This is basically one guy's dream of, really wanting to make a game that's like Final Fantasy. I think it's funny that the girl starts off by saying, "I've had these weird dreams lately," and I'm like, "Oh wow, the most Kingdom Hearts we've gotten in years." But anyway. The gameplay looks incredible. The graphics look great. I agree with you that the character models look a little funny. Maybe not. I don't know. They look mostly okay to me, but like every now and then I squint.
They're not fully detailed. They're like there's something off.
Yeah. They're a little too. I look like John Cena. They look a little like plain, I guess.
Yeah.
Very flat. Anyway. Whatever. The gameplay looks really good. The graphics look really good. And yeah, it looks really, really fun. It looks like Final Fantasy meets Devil May Cry. And I mean, on their day one.
Yeah, this is...
I will be paying attention to, because it is AA, I will be paying attention to reviews and stuff like that and like final previews. Yeah. But other than that, I mean, I'm pretty much sold unless something goes super wrong.
Yeah. It looks like Final Fantasy 15 because like the main character was like Noctis. And the combat looks like Devil May Cry. So it's like if Square Enix is not going to give us this, and if Capcom's not going to give me Devil May Cry, I'll just do it myself. That's what this game seems like.
For 10 years.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to September. Now, you think we'd get a break, but nope. September is pretty stacked as well. Not as big as August, though. Hirogami. Comes out September 3rd. We talked about this game so many times at this point, right? I mean, it's a cool platform.
We've talked about it at least twice.
Yeah. So it looks great. I'm not sure I'm day one, but definitely a cool game to get in the future, especially on the Steam Deck. Hell is Us has always caught my eye. It always reminded me of Death Stranding. The vibe I was getting, the way the world looks. You played the demo and you said you dig it now, right?
I surprisingly liked it. I did not expect to like this game at all because you are not told where to go. There's some Souls elements to it, and just generally I wasn't really sold on what it was trying to give me. But when I actually played it, I found that there are generally pretty helpful pointers to go to places, but they're not like, it's not like a blaring neon sign. Yeah. But there's, like wind chimes hanging by the trees, or there's an arrow, or there's a person who says, "Hey, go this direction," and you have a compass. So it's not completely blind. And then the combat, I'm not going to say I love the combat because the stamina, I hate stamina systems in games, generally speaking. But it doesn't feel overly punishing. I feel like I can get away with doing quite a few moves before my character gets exhausted. And the story is interesting. So I'm actually, kind of surprisingly into this. I thought September was going to be a quieter month for me. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not really into Hell Is Us. But I played the demo for about an hour, and I liked what I played. So I'm cautiously optimistic that it will review well and that I'll be there day one.
Yeah. All right. That comes out September 4th. Also, the same day, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, The Order of Giants DLC comes out. Indiana Jones, I thought it was a great game. It was in my top 10 games of last year. I really enjoyed it, and the DLC definitely interests me. I'll definitely check it out. I'm not sure I'll play the DLC when it first comes out because I gotta prioritize other games. I think because there's so many games. Metal Gear Solid comes out the week before, and Lost Soul Sides, right? So it's more than likely that's going to get in the way of these games in the early September. So like some of these games are not going to be day one, I think. So this DLC is probably going to wait. But from what I'm seeing, it looks like more Indiana Jones, right? Like we got more venture into like the storyline of the Giants, which was kind of underdeveloped, I think, in the game. They didn't really give us full like detail like about the giant people protecting like the Great Circle, and all that. So we'll probably get more lore and stuff like that. And they showed more puzzles, more platforming, like Indiana Jones. So what about it interests you?
It's a continuation of the game that happened previously that I played, and it looks the same. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited.
That's all it is.
I liked. I had Indiana Jones. Maybe in my top. I don't remember if I had it in my top 10. Maybe it was just on the outside in
No,
honorable mentions.
it wasn't. It was in your honorable mentions, I think.
Honorable mentions. That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, it was a great game. I had some problems with some aspects of it, and look, I'm not the biggest Indiana Jones defender in general, besides the punching Nazis part. So, it's not really for me. But in spite of that, I still really enjoyed myself. There are some issues with the combat that I had, but Machine Games, after playing Wolfenstein: The New Order, they generally make great games. So they're a really solid developer overall. Yeah. I think they continue that with this DLC.
Yeah, some of the gameplay elements were not great, and I think the open world sections a little bit were a little too padded and too long.
Yeah,
I think that game was too long.
Yes,
it was too padded, but like the open world sections didn't really do anything for me. I would have preferred more of a Wolfenstein campaign where it was more linear, like more open area, but not like it was like, here's a map, go figure out. I didn't like that, especially in the Egypt part. I was like, I had to use a guide because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. So anyway, Borderlands 4 comes out September 12th. Randy Pitchford aside, very excited for this. If Borderlands always has fun gameplay, that I'm very optimistic about. The storyline of Borderlands 3 was cringe and the millennial humor and all that, but it's still fun to play. And I think this game is going for more mature, serious tone. It's going to have its Borderlands humor, which is perfectly fine for me. But I just don't want it to go too far, and I think they're going to do a better job with the humor. But it looks like a fun time. Now, if the price is $80, then this is going to be a full-on wait. I am not getting this day one if it's full price, like that. But it comes out like in the middle of September. There's nothing around it, so it feels like a good time for me to get it. If I want it day one, I mean, because there's nothing around September 12th. All right, then we go jumping 2 weeks later on Silent Hill F, September 25th. I mean, what is there to say? We've talked about this game a lot on this podcast, I think. I'm a huge Silent Hill fan. I was day one, no matter what. Unless this game got like a 50 on Metacritic or something. It looks like a blast to play. I think the storyline's probably going to be good. The environments look great. The atmosphere is creepy. The monsters look creepy. It just looks like a great sound. It looks like a fun time. It looks like a good Silent Hill, and it's very unique. It's the first Silent Hill to be a Japanese-focused game. So, Dory, why is it on your list as well? Even though we talked about it 100,000 times at this point.
Yeah, Silent Hill. I'm really excited for it. The aesthetic looks amazing, and I'm just excited for a Silent Hill game that's in Japan. And I'm excited to follow along with the series now that I played the Silent Hill 2 remake. So excited to play more Silent Hill. Gameplay doesn't look amazing, but that's okay. Never really does. And yeah, I'm excited to see what it ends up looking like. I'm pretty much there day one, unless, like you said, it bombs. But I don't think that'll happen. Not the way it's looking.
Definitely. I think it's going to be a success. Seems like Konami is starting to get their groove back. So hopefully Silent Hill is here to stay now. Especially with the remake coming out. All right, Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, which comes up September.
Ivalice.
Or Evil, is it Ivalice? Okay, Chronicles.
Ivalice.
I just say Final Fantasy Tactics. September 30th. Now, classic remaster collection of one of the best Final Fantasy games ever made. I'm very excited about it. It's strategy based, turn-based strategy. It's gonna be a great time. I love the 2D 3D mix. It's only for a certain audience like me who grew up with it on the PS1 or the Game Boy Advance. What is there to say? It looks great. I was hyped for it when I saw it at I think it was the State of Play. Or was it Summer Game Fest or the State of Play? I think it was the State of Play. All right.
I believe it's State of Play.
Yeah. So I'm definitely excited for that. Let's move on to October, which is typically the most crazy month of the year, and as always, it's stacked. This is only the games that we know have release dates. So a lot of games like Chronos: The New Dawn is going to be coming out in October too. I think it's a safe bet. So let's only focus on the games that have release dates. Directive 8020, which comes out October 2nd, the same day as Ghost of Yotai. Dory, what about Directive 8020 appeals to you so my voice gets a break?
Yeah, I really like these kind of narrative heavy games. As people know, I love horror. So this is right up my alley. Might play this with Kim so we can kill a bunch of people, innocent people. And just like we did when we played Until Dawn together all those years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it's The Thing on space. So it's kind of like Alien meets The Thing, and I love both those movies. So I'm really excited to see what happens. I hope that this is not all of their games have, that is to say, 8020's developers whose names I'm blanking on right now, Seb.
Supermassive.
Supermassive, thank you. Such a huge name that I forgot it. But Supermassive has a mixed track record. Not that their games are ever terrible, but their games are either usually great at best and mediocre at worst, right? And so I'm hoping this is one of the great ones. I know people really liked the Ashes one, and of course Until Dawn is a classic. And I know the Quarry was held pretty high, but the rest of the games, whole mix of like 6s and 7s, right? So I'm hoping this is one of their better ones.
Yeah, the Quarry is more mixed online. I think people really like that game or really hate it. And I'm somewhere like I'm a 7 out of 10 on that game, I think. But Dark Pictures games are very mixed. Some of them are really, really enjoyable, and some of them are mid at best. But they're all worth playing through, I think, because they go on sale and they're cheap. So they're perfect.
And they're usually pretty short too, and can be fun, especially if you're playing with friends.
Yeah, they're meant to be replayed, so they're short games. Like they're usually like 6 to 8 hours. Once you know where you're going as well, you can fly through it even faster. All right, the same day, Ghost of Yotai comes out. Now I'm in the camp where I might just wait for the PC version. I don't know if I'm gonna get this day one, but we'll see. I probably will get it on PS5. I waited for Death Stranding 2. The only thing is, Death Stranding 2 is probably going to come out on PC 8 months later. This one's probably going to be like 2 years. So I don't know if I can wait 2 years to play this. So we'll just see. But Dory, why is this on your list?
Right, so my list, Ghost of Yotai, I love Ghost of Tsushima so much.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite games of that year. I'm excited to play the sequel. It looks just as breathtaking. I bet the gameplay will be even better. The story should be a good time too.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm excited for it. It's probably, besides The Outer Worlds 2, my most highly anticipated game of October, and certainly one of my most anticipated games of the year.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is amazing, and it should be a great game. Like if it's even close to the first game, then it's going to be a good game. People really love that game. People say it was the game of the year in 2020 for a lot of people. But I thought it was a top 5 game for me, so I'm definitely hyped for it. All right, the next game was Digimon Story Time Stranger, which is the next Digimon game that's like turn-based RPG. We got some gameplay this week of it, showing like all the Digimon that you can collect and Digivolve and the RPG elements and the combat and stuff like that. It looks like a great time. I love the visuals, as I talked about. It reminds me of Persona. I love that there's a focus on story and like actual like dialogue and voice acting and things like that. This is the kind of game I really would want from Digimon. It has like a rock paper scissors gameplay focus where certain types beat, like virus beats data, data beats vaccine, vaccine beats virus, that kind of thing. And it reminds me of that gameplay reminds me of Monster Hunter Stories too. And yeah, it looks great. Why is it on your list as well?
Who knew all you needed to do to sell me on the Monster Hunter series was just reshape everything as Digimon game and just say, Dory, it's a Digimon game. It's not a Monster Hunter game. I'm like, oh, I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've loved Digimon for a very long time. Grew up with the first season. I love the second and third season, especially the third, and have probably the most memories with the second. And yeah, I just really excited for a Digimon game that actually looks good. It's got a lot of classic Digimon that you love to see in here from multiple seasons.
Yeah.
You can digivolve them. Worth pointing out that Digimon Storytime Stranger had a system trailer released by Bandai themselves, so go check that out. But yeah, like Seb said, it's kind of a rock paper scissors data vaccine virus system. So yeah, go check it out. It looks really good. I love the quality of the graphics. Just looks really nice. That timeless kind of anime style that's always aged very well. Lots of RPG settings, turn-based action, which looks great. And I think there's some in real-time action elements too, like where you try to time things and you get a good or a great or a bad. And of course, you can bond with your Digimon and have them on a world. You have a Digifarm. Every Digimon have their own personality and their own Digivolutions. You can also devolve Digimon too if you want them to be, a little cuter and a little smaller.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks great. I'm excited.
All right, the next game is Painkiller. That's on your list. So can you tell us about Painkiller?
Yeah, I actually don't know a ton about this series, but I just know what I've seen I really liked. This is kind of a Doom-like, I guess, from the mid to late 2000s.
Yeah.
And I never played it. I guess there were a few different ones. There's Painkiller Overdose, Hell and Damnation, and Painkiller Black Edition. There's a bunch. But this is bringing the Painkiller series back. It's a fast-paced co-op action. You're using Hell's weapon against itself, and you are basically offered a chance at redemption. And yeah, it's coming out October 9th. The gameplay looks really cool. I've liked what I've seen from the trailers. Again, I didn't grow up playing Painkiller, so I don't have a lot of, any kind of nostalgia for it. But I've been playing a lot of FPSs lately, along with Doom: The Dark Ages. I also played a different game that was also an FPS. I'm forgetting what it was off the top of my head. But yeah, Mullet Mad Jack, I also really liked that. And I've got some other FPS games on my list, like Turbo Overkill to play.
You know what?
So I've been on a bit of an FPS kick lately.
This is a game that should be on my list as well, because I didn't grow up with this game, but I remember it now, and it plays like Doom, and this game I almost have day one, but I'm very interested. It's on my wish list. I just forgot to put it. Yeah, it looks great. It looks like a Doom game. That style of gameplay that I grew up with. So definitely interested in that. I totally forgot it was coming out.
Yeah.
All right, so Directive and Ghost of Yotai come out October 2nd. Digimon comes out October 3rd, and Painkiller comes out October 9th. So right off the bat, the first two, and Little Nightmares 3 comes out October 10th. So right off the bat, you got 5 games that I would buy day one if I had unlimited money. So that's like $300 alone. Keeper. I'm not talking about Little Nightmares because we already talked about it, obviously. Keeper comes out October 17th. That's on your list. Can you tell us about Keeper?
I really like Double Fine. I played a lot of Psychonauts.
Oh, that should be on this should be on my list too.
Yes. I didn't want to speak for you, and I didn't want to interrupt the podcast, so I wasn't going to be like, hey, is this on your list or that? Yeah. But yeah, I figured it was also on your list. But yeah, Keeper is a new game for Double Fine, the people behind Psychonauts and Grim Fandango. I love Grim Fandango, even though some of the puzzles were a little too obscurantist for me, but still really appreciated its sense of humor and writing. And Psychonauts is a classic platformer. I really liked it. I didn't beat it because I was having trouble beating a boss with my keyboard, and at the time I didn't have a mouse or a controller. Yeah. So I just never finished it, and I think I lost my progress or something. So I'm just probably never going back, but I enjoyed what I did play. And I think Keeper looks like get ready for this, Sep, you're gonna love it. This one looks like a Keeper. So I think I made that exact same joke last time, but I will continue to make that joke. Yeah, because my alternative is Keeper. I don't even know her, and that's not a good one, Seb. So anyway, Seb, why are you excited about Keeper?
I'm excited because I love Double Fine games. I've played practically all of them. I love the Psychonaut series. I grew up with the first game. The second game was my top 3 games of 2021, and I loved absolutely loved Psychonauts too. It was my game of the year for a little bit when it came out that year. Um, and they make quality games. They don't appeal to everybody, but they appeal to me. I grew up with point and click adventure games in the '90s. Grim Fandango, masterpiece in that genre. Broken Age, I really like. Psychonauts. So I'm really excited for this game. Only thing is, I'm excited like from their track record. I mean, like this game is just like a lighthouse moving around, so it doesn't look the most appealing, I guess, in terms of like what's going on. But the environment and everything going on is so colorful and looks cool that like I'm interested. But like yeah, I'm just interested. It looks like a Double Fine game. Like you could literally tell it's a Double Fine game. They have a very unique like style to it. I don't want to say Tim Burton because that's like a generic term, but you know what I'm saying. They have their own style to it. You can tell it's them. All right. Okay, this is out of order, but Pokemon Legends ZA comes out October 16th. It looks like I really loved Pokemon Legends Arceus. That game played fantastic. The biggest problem with that game was the performance was really bad, and the graphics were not good at all. But the gameplay was so good. Like the concept of like dodging Pokemon and throwing and battling in real time with a Pokemon was really fun. The collecting the Pokemon, throwing the Pokeballs at the Pokemon in real time was such a fun gameplay loop. It was a blast to play, and this game is the sequel to that. So I'm really excited for this game. If the performance is gonna be a lot better because it's a Switch 2 game. It's on Switch 1 as well, but it's a Switch 2 game. And I'm very confident. Not I'm saying very confident. I'm confident that it's gonna play better. Like because that was the biggest weakness of that game. So if that game, if it's anything like the first game and it has good performance, it should be like a 9 out of 10 kind of game, like level. Because it really was that fun. It was my top 10 game of the year that year. Had the performance been better, it really was that fun. Right. Ninja Gaiden 4. It's both on our list. That comes out October 21st. Ninja Gaiden 4 looks like a blast to play. It's Ninja Gaiden. I've somewhat grew up with the series. I played on the original Xbox. They're very hard, but they're really fun. It's like that Devil May Cry kind of gameplay. It's just you're button mashing, doing combos, but you have to also be careful how you dodge and parry and things like that because you can die pretty easily. So it's like playing Devil May Cry on a higher difficulty. The best way I can describe Ninja Gaiden. Why are you excited for 4?
2 reasons. It looks awesome, and it has difficulty settings. So if I get too upset, I can just turn the difficulty down. But yeah, I didn't grow up with the series at all, Ninja Gaiden. I knew of it and had heard of it, but it never appealed to me because even as a kid, I was usually not into super difficult games.
Yeah.
So it never really did much for me. But I had the right systems for it. I definitely could have played it when it was out. But I never did. And I'm thinking about going back and playing, Sigma or Black or whatever. But we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
And but I'm looking forward to 4 for sure. And I'll be there day 1. It's got difficulty settings, so that's what really matters to me.
Yeah, I have the whole collection on Steam, so you can go through the whole series on Steam. All right, the last game of October is Outer Worlds 2, which comes out October 29th. I just beat the first game again last week. And it still holds up. It's a great game. It's arguably the best Fallout game, and it's not even Fallout. Although I think New Vegas is the best. I think New Vegas is better than Outer Worlds 1.
I think they're neck and now that I've played both, I think they're neck and neck. I would slightly give the edge to New Vegas, but I do love in the one thing that Outer Worlds really has over New Vegas is you move a lot quicker in Outer Worlds.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just like the characters and the world better in New Vegas personally.
Yeah, that's fair.
But the Outer World still quality. I love the humor. The gameplay I think the gameplay is the worst part of the game. I think Obsidian's come a long way since Outer Worlds 1 because when I was playing this game, I felt stiff it compared to what I saw from Outer Worlds 2 in the gameplay. And I think Avowed was the best part of Avowed was the gameplay, because I thought Avowed's storyline was disappointing and the characters were not appealing to me, but the gameplay was so much fun that if Outer Worlds 2 finds a good balance of both, that it's going to be a quality game. So it's definitely one of my most hyped games. It's just a shame about the $80 price tag. That's like the only blemish for me on this game. I don't understand the concept of making it $80. You're trying to sell people on Game Pass, but I talked about that already. Dory, why is it on your list?
I love the Outer Worlds 1. I went back and played it. It's an excellent game. I do agree that the gameplay is the weakest part, but I still had a blast with what I did play. And I'm looking forward to a more refined experience. I think it will balance it. I think it'll be easily my top 5, maybe my top 3.
Nice. All right. So that's October, which is stacked. Every game in October is on my list, basically. So October is that month. I save up money because I know October is going to be the month I spend the most money. It's my favorite month of the year. And one of the reasons why, because A, I love the fall, but B is because it's best month for gaming, and it's Halloween season, so it's just the best of everything. Peak football season. It's just like everything's going on October. It's my favorite time of the year, and this year is gonna be no different. I think October looks amazing. All right, let's get into the games that don't have a release dates. These would be a little more faster than the other ones.
Yes.
Crimson Desert. Every time I see this game, the gameplay looks like a blast. It looks so much fun. They just won't give us a release date. Like, that's the only blemish. Everything about this game looks like a blast. You can ride on dragons. There's so much chaos going on. You're like diving through the sky. Everything about this game looks like a blast. It looks amazing. So, can you just give us a release date by now? All it says is late 2025. So maybe, I really hope it's not October. November maybe will be perfect. When they say late November, I usually think November or December, right? Because if it was October, they would say fall normally, I would assume.
Yeah.
So late feels like November. So this would be a perfect November game because it'd be the only game I buy in November. So everything about this just like insane. Like this in terms of like gameplay, like of an open world game, this looks like the best gameplay of the year. From what we're seeing, because everything they're showing is not just like eye candy. Like, this is full on real gameplay. That's what's also exciting. Like, you get eye candy, it's just like cinematics and stuff. Like, everything in this trailer we got at the Game Awards last year is gameplay. So actual riding on a dragon, that's not like boring Doom's boring dragon riding. This actually looks like a fun dragon riding. All right, both of us have Chronos: The New Dawn on our list. So Dory, you can start with your reason why you have it on your list.
It's Dead Space, but with better graphics. No, I'm being glib, but I mean, it does look really good. And now that Bloober has knocked it out of the park with their remake of Silent Hill 2, I have more confidence that this will be good. This looks amazing. Actually, the gameplay looks really strong. The dismemberment stuff looks great. Graphics. I'm not sure how the story will be, but I will wait for reviews, but I'm cautiously optimistic I'll be day one on this.
Yeah, even if the story's not great, the gameplay looks like a blast, and I'll have a really good time. I love cinematic third-person horror games. Like, this is my genre, and I love everything about it. Just like Dead Space, basically. Like, I enjoyed Callisto Protocol. It was definitely not as good as Dead Space, and I would definitely say it's like a, I don't know, 7.5, maybe to an 8 out of 10. But I just love the cinematic third-person view so much that I really enjoyed it. So this game is so up my alley, and I trust Bloober Team at this point. If they nail it with this game, then my hype for Silent Hill Remake is through the roof. And if you imagine if Silent Hill Remake is farther in development and it comes out like next year, wouldn't that be insane? They'll have games back to back to back, like each year. That would be insane. So definitely excited for that. They don't have a release date, but it says fall. I think October is a safe bet. So let's just add that to the list of October games. I think October is a safe bet. Deadpool VR. This was totally out of nowhere.
I hope it's not overly long, but it's Deadpool. I love Deadpool. I mean, if you give me the Deadpool's humor with fun gameplay mechanics, because he can break the fourth wall, all that stuff, then I'm sold. It's Oculus exclusive. The gameplay from what we saw looked really fun. Like having the double guns, you can throw guns and then catch it in midair. You can put people's heads in fans. It's gory. The dodging, it's like ninja strikes. I mean, it looks really fun. You swinging around, throwing grenades. It looks like a fun Deadpool game. So it says late 2025. I am very hyped for this game. I did not expect this game at all, and it looks great. So I hope we get more Marvel games in VR. Like Spider-Man VR would be awesome. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. All right, the next game was Dispatch. That's on your list. So tell us about that.
It's a strategy game with reformed supervillains.
This should be on my list. This should be on my list too.
Yes. Again, same problem. I didn't want to interrupt the podcast, but yeah, just make sure to look down the list, see if there's anything else that's in purple that you're also excited about.
Yeah.
But yeah, very quickly, it's a strategy game. You get to send out reformed supervillains to help people out, and they have to match up for the task. The writing's really good, and it's very funny. I know people were worried that this game would be kind of cringy, but I laughed quite a bit from the demo. The voice acting cast is nuts. Go check this out. There's a free demo on Steam.
Yeah, I really liked it. It was my kind of game. It's like a narrative game, right? So
yeah.
So as long as it's not overly long and it's just a fun like experience, I'll probably really enjoy it. The humor. I think it really depends on the humor and the writing, right? If it doesn't hit, then I'll probably get bored. But if it nails it, then it should be good. High on Life 2. This should be like December, November, I would think. I really like the first game. I'm not saying it's an amazing game, and I definitely understand why people hate it, and it's annoying. And it definitely got caught with the whole Rick and Morty drama and the creator going through what he did and all that. And Rick and Morty has dropped in quality and writing and stuff, and I think this game suffered from that. Just bad momentum, the bad vibe. But I really enjoyed it. It was a fun like 7.5 out of 10. Like it's just a turn your brain off game. That's all it really was. So, all right, Hollow Knight Silk Song. Dory has a clown emoji next to it now. I think they basically gave us the release date.
Yeah, they did. I was just being cheeky.
No, I know I'm saying, but like they like just give us the release date. If you're just gonna say it comes out the same day as the Xbox like handheld, then just say, oh, it's coming out. Well, I guess they didn't want to reveal the Xbox release date either, the handheld. But it's coming out wintertime, so let's say November. I'm gonna guess November. That's when the handheld comes out, I think too. So if I had to predict, it's on my list. Metroidvania, really hard, amazing world, one of the best. Hollow Knight's one of the greatest Metroidvanias of all time. One of the greatest indie games of all time. You can argue it's the greatest indie game of all time. Some people would say that, but either way, it's one of the best. And Dory, no interest from you just because it's the difficulty, or you just don't like these kind of games?
Yeah, the difficulty, not really doing it for me.
Yeah. All right, Replaced. I forgot to put this on my list, but I changed it. The main thing for me is every time I see this game is the visuals. Like this game really stands out with the visuals. The pixel 3D mixture, it looks awesome. It's giving me like Inside vibes, that kind of game. But the gameplay looks. Well, what kind of gameplay is this, Story? Would you say?
So it's got action. It's a platformer, but it's also got action.
Yeah.
It says it's got free flow action combat set in an alternative 1980s.
Yeah.
Every time I've seen this game, I've been blown away by the graphics and aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's a retro futuristic action platformer, is what it says on Steam. It just looks incredible. The music sounds great. I liked what little I saw of the gameplay, but I need to see more, and a demo would be great.
Yeah, this game needs a demo, and hopefully, if it comes out this year, they say, right? So, when do you think it would be coming out? Like, is there any hint of what they've said that when it's coming out?
No, they haven't given anything. I just saw it on 2025 list, so I put it there. If it does come out, I'd imagine late fuck it, let's just put it in October for shits and giggles.
Yeah, of course it's gonna be October, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it reminds me of like Inside, but like with actual combat, and the combat looks really fun. There's like parrying and countering and stuff like that. So yeah, this is the aesthetic alone is like day one. Like even if it's not the greatest gameplay, like everything about it is just so cool to look at that I'll probably really enjoy it. So yeah, it's definitely a game I shouldn't have forgotten actually, but there's so many indie games. Hotel Barcelona, Suda 51. I mean, the game looks batshit crazy. I mean, like it's insane. It's like so much going on. If you look at the gameplay, I mean, it just throws LSD at you. Every second there's something going on the screen. But from what I'm gathering, it's a side scroller with platforming, with combat where you're like fighting enemies, but there's also like card. I want to say it's card based. It's like RPG elements or card based system or something like that. But mostly you're just like fighting enemies. And like there's like a mixture of like 2D and 3D where like characters on the side of the screen are like breaking through the screen, and it's a lot going on. It looks insane. I mean, it comes out this year. I had my eye on it. If you like Suda 51 kind of games, which they're hit or miss, like I said before, this is up your alley, and this looks like a blast to play. So, very excited to play it. If you like No More Heroes, Lollipop Chainsaw, you know that it's Suda 51 teaming up with the people that made Deadly Premonition. So, it's insane, right? I'm surprised you didn't have that on your list, Dory. Actually.
Yeah, it looks cool, but I need to see more from it. I'm not convinced. I think it looks really cool, but I need to see more gameplay. Also, I got Metroidvania feels from it, and I'm just not into Metroidvanias as a general rule.
Yeah.
So I need to see some reviews and stuff before I really commit to being interested.
Yeah. Now, the next game is Pony Island 2 Panda Circus. Now, I know Dan Mullins made this, and I really liked Inscription, but I never played Pony Island 1, so...
Yeah, Pony Island 1 is a great game. It's definitely about ponies and nothing else, and don't look into it. And this is the sequel, which is also definitely about ponies and nothing else, and please don't look into it. But seriously, these games are very, very fun. Daniel Mullins makes a lot of very meta games that are about a lot more than just playing video games. And I don't think he ever comes off as too snobby either. And obviously these are kind of artsy fartsy in a way, but I personally have never been super bothered by them. And I think the ways in which they do it are very engaging. I thought Pony Island 1 was a great game. I'm really excited they're making a sequel. Again, the game's definitely about ponies and nothing else.
100%. All right, 33 Immortals. I think it already has early access.
It is out.
It has early access already, but it's not fully out yet. It looks like a fun game to play. I haven't played it yet, but everything what I'm seeing, it just looks fun to play with all the people on screen. This is one of those games where I'm probably gonna wait. I'm not like super hyped for it or anything like that, but it just interests me. So I just wanted to shout it out. It reminded me of like the animation just reminds me of like Hades a little bit. So that's what. That's the main reason. All right. Mouse PI. I mean, the ultimate. I'm gonna put it in every freaking showcase and not give us a release date game, and just it's time for a release date. Come on. I mean, this game's gotta be done. I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, it looks. What can we say about it? They've shown it 5,000 times, and
they have.
It's like Cuphead, old school cartoons, with a first person shooter. I mean, it looks great. So
looks great. Want it? Give it to me. Next game.
All right, Kirby Air Riders. Now, Kirby Air Riders is a very old school series. And we haven't got a game since GameCube. It's and the cool thing about this, I think it's being worked on by Sakurai, and it's a sequel to the first game on the GameCube. It's his first. He created Kirby, and it's exciting, right? If you like those kind of games, they're like Mario Kart, but like with Kirby characters, but it's like really fast paced and stuff. It should be a fun time. It's gonna look really colorful. I'm sure it's gonna be fun to play if you like racing games. So Kirby Air Riders is definitely on my list for Switch 2 games to play this year.
All right, so Lost 2. This could have been on my list, but I'm still iffy. I need to see more gameplay and reviews and stuff like that. But Solasta 2 is a CRPG. Is that right?
Yes.
So tell us about why it's on your list.
Yeah, I played the demo, unlike this lazy bum right next to me.
I don't play demos.
It was really that's true. That is, you are pretty consistent about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I played the demo. I really liked what I played. 5e is a really fun system. I mean, it doesn't have to do a lot to sell me. I would like the writing and the voice acting to be a little better. But I just played a small chunk of it. I will wait for reviews, but I'm interested. Next game.
Yeah, I'm interested. It's just I don't expect it to be as good as Baldur's Gate 3, but I just need to see.
Right.
I just need to see like more, like, better cuts, like better dialogue, better like that kind of thing, better writing. Maybe the story needs to sell me as well as the gameplay, I think. All right, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which is both on our list, and I'm a big Metroid fan. I love it. I love the Metroid Prime series is one of the greatest Nintendo franchises. The trilogy is very consistently great. I don't know why 2 and 3 is not on the Switch. I don't know what they're waiting on. But this game's gonna be high quality. This is gonna be a highly rated game. I'm very confident this is gonna be in the 90s. It's probably gonna be the highest rated Nintendo game of the year. Don't be surprised if this gets Game of the Year nomination. I'm very confident this game's gonna be quality. All right, so this is gonna be Nintendo's like one game that gets nominated for Game of the Year. I'm very optimistic. This game's gonna be fantastic. Everything what I'm seeing looks great. The gameplay looks polished and fun. I'm excited to see what the mouse is gonna feel like with the Joy-Con. The visuals look great. The frame rate looks good. It's colorful. Everything about it looks polished and quality. So I'm very optimistic. I just want a release date at this point. Dory, why is it on your list?
It's Metroid Prime 4. That's it. That's the sell. It's right. Metroid Prime 4.
Next game.
No, I love Metroid Prime 3. Corruption was one of my favorite Wii games as a kid. I'm really excited for 4. I don't think I need to really say a lot here. I'm day one. Getting it on the original Switch, but I think it'll look and play just fine.
Yeah. All right, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Some games I'm disappointed they left out, but I love the preservation of games. I grew up with these games in the 90s on Sega and Nintendo 64 and Super Nintendo and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm very excited to play these games. I just like the Steam preservation. Like I like having the Marvel vs. Capcom collection we got, and I'm gonna enjoy playing Mortal Kombat, old school Mortal Kombat again. All right, mixtape. That's both on our list. I mean, what can you say? The Dory game, but it's also my game because like I am a sucker for teenage angst in like a Midwest, like not Midwest, like in like a woodsy area, drama, you know, teenage girl drama in a retro setting, vibes the game. Like I mean, we're talking Life is Strange, we're talking Lost Records, Tell Me Why, and so on and so forth. I'm a sucker for these games, so day one. I mean, I'm sold. Dory?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much all the same stuff for me. You're not going to get much of a news flash here, but it's all about choices, consequences, teenagers destroying their own lives, and possibly making out along the way. I mean, what can I say? It's pretty much a Dory game.
This is one of those games we're gonna have a spoiler cast and deep dive into the characters again, just like Lost Records. All right. Last game for me is Reanimal, which we talked about already. It's the people that made the Little Nightmare games are making this one. It's a spiritual successor because they don't own the license, they don't own the IP anymore. THQ is doing it, and yeah, it looks great. They say it's going to be a lot scarier than Little Nightmares. They're going even more horror, and it seems like there's focus on animals, so scary animals. So now that's all the games on our list right here. I'm sure there's some games we forgot, but I think it's very. I think for the most part, I think we hit on everything that interests us. I'm pretty happy with my list. Now, before we conclude the show, what would you say is your top 3 games of all these games that you're like dead hype for? Like these are like day zero. I'm gonna get this as soon as it comes out. Like I'm not even gonna wait. I can't
Ghost
sleep.
of Yotei, Outer Worlds 2, And are we doing just games that have concrete?
No, anything.
Anything? Okay. And I want to say Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah. All right, for me, I would say, man, Metal Gear Solid Delta.
Oh, shit, that's good too.
I would say Silent Hill F. And I would say I want to say not Outer Worlds 2. I don't know. I'm hyped for it, but that is tough. No, Metroid Prime. I'll say Metroid Prime. All right, so I'll say Metroid Prime, Silent Hill, and what else did I say? Metal Gear Solid. So yeah. So those would probably be my top 10 games. I think that's a safe bet. My top 10 list is going to be totally different by the end of the year. I think after going through all these games, my bottom 5 is because we did a top 5 list last week, right? So the games we talked about, I think they're mostly going to stay the same. But my bottom 5 is going to be totally different. You think the same for you?
I think it'll be similar. Some of those games on my on like the outer, like I think my top 3 is pretty set, but the other 2 I could see getting replaced because they're just really great. They're not excellent.
Yeah,
I could see them getting replaced by something that's like really excellent.
It's hard to see like anything passing Clear Obscure, or Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 for me. And Split Fiction is up there too. Maybe I think Split Fiction might fall down. I don't know. It depends. Like if Metroid is like as quality as I think it's gonna be, then I can see Metroid being my top 3. But I think my top 2, or at least my top 1, is very strong. I think Clear Obscure is gonna be my game of the year. Looking at this list, I think Clear Obscure is probably gonna be my game of the year. I'm not saying it's definitely gonna be. I'm pretty sure.
I'm saying definitely. Unless I like Ghost of Yotai or Outer Worlds 2 absolutely blows up my world like Claire Obscure did. I just don't see that happening. I respect Sucker Punch's abilities to tell stories, but I don't think it'll be on the level of Claire Obscure. So
I never want to say that because like I said that about like I was thinking like Tears in the Kingdom was gonna be my game of the year, and then Baldur's Gate 3 came out, and it was like,
yeah, that's fair.
Oh my god!
I mean, if I'm not saying it won't happen, but I'm pretty confident Claire Obscure is gonna be number 1.
I'm pretty confident as well. All right, so that's our list for the second half of the year. It's going to be a really good year. I mean, I think every year is a good year in games. I think anyone that says there's no games to play is ridiculous. Like, there's so much to play. We went through indie games, AA games, and AAA games. So I think you can say we have variety. We have good variety and taste. All right, so thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night, Dory. Thanks for joining. We had a good time, and we'll go back to a more regular format next week. It's not as many lists anymore because we went through the whole year already now. So
yes.
All right, so we're gonna spotlight some games next week and talk about news. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night and peace.
Go check out that Steam Summer Sale while it's still there.
Yep. Bye.